Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I am having the time of my life talking about Descendants and Zombies. It is an honor to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies to help you make sense of everything Descendants and Zombies when others on YouTube just can't. All they want to do is criticize Descendants and Zombies, and I want to put a stop to that, so that's why I created this show. And this is why this show showed up on YouTube, and every day there's been a video about Descendants and Zombies faithfully uploaded to this YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, hitting the like button every single time that you do, because I can't do it without you. And that's as honest as I'm going to be as a YouTube creator for each and every one of you. With me is what you see is what you get, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you guys so much for the incredible amount of outpouring of love and support you have shown this YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, I am the biggest Descendants and Zombies fan in the world. I am Jonathan Clarke, your voice of Descendants and Zombies, and I know Descendants 5 feels like it's forever and a day away, but just think about it like this. This time next summer, we'll be counting down the minutes to the premiere of Descendants 5, and that's something that I'm really excited about, and it's really hard to believe that Descendants 5 is that much closer every single day. Descendants 5 is going to be so much fun. We not only have Red and Chloe returning to reprise their roles, we also have the introduction of Liamani Segura as Red's sister Pink, and a lot of people are talking about her early on and making predictions of what's going to happen with her character, seeing her introduction into the Descendants franchise. I have become the biggest fan in the world of Liamani Segura, and I haven't even seen her yet. I'm looking forward to meeting her next summer to see what she will offer this franchise, and I think she's going to offer more than perhaps any other character has ever offered to the Descendants franchise, with the exception of your favorites, such as Chloe Charming, Red. There are so many beautiful characters that have made this franchise up and really brought it together in a way that I don't think anybody else, past or present, has been able to. I think that Descendants is going to go down in history for being one of the most revered and celebrated franchises of all time. There is no doubt in my mind, or no question in the back of my mind, about Descendants going down in history for being one of the most revered of all time, because it deserves it. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure, along with your guys' help, that your favorite Descendants stars go down as some of the greatest Disney legends of all time. The way I look at it is, if Miley Cyrus can stand on stage as the youngest Disney legend in history, then your favorite Descendants stars can have the same honors and accolades bestowed upon them. Think about Cameron Boyce and the legacy he left behind, or the legacy of Kylie Contrell, which she is doing everything she possibly can to etch in the annals of time. I think there are so many Descendants stars who have definitely, given their lives to this franchise, really put everything behind, an incredible effort behind their performances, and I think they deserve to be honored more than what they are. So I just want to put it out there that if this show accomplishes anything, it will be to ensure the legacies of your favorite Descendants stars. That's all I've ever wanted to do, which means I didn't want to come on here and criticize Kylie Contrell from a political point of view, her friendship with Malia Baker, which has been blown out of the water and out of proportion. I wanted to come on here and I wanted to perceive it for the way it was meant to be perceived, and I wanted to ensure the legacies of your favorite Descendants stars, which many people don't do with these videos, because most of the videos that you're finding really aren't delivering for you, and they really aren't adding up. When someone comes on their YouTube channel and all they can do is provide you with constructive criticism, or so they say, about your favorite Descendants stars in the movies, I think that you're wanting to get more out of your YouTube videos and your YouTube experience. So that's what I want to do with these videos. I want to bring them to life in a way that nobody else ever brought them to life for you, and talk about Ruby Rose Turner parting ways with Descendants 5 and put meaning behind it, because in my opinion, Ruby leaving Descendants 5 was a huge mistake, because in all honesty, Ruby was so genuinely kind and so beautiful. She was such a wonderful person for everybody to be around, and she not only brought the best out of herself, but she brought the best out of everybody she worked with on the set of Descendants. And I just want to put it out there that I'm having great difficulty, coming to terms with how Ruby is parting ways with the franchise, because I for the life of me, I don't know how they're going to be able to produce Descendants 5 without her. They did it because they have Liamani Segura, who's going to be debuting as Pink in the franchise, but without Ruby Rose Turner, it just doesn't feel the same for me, because I remember when news first broke that Ruby was going to be joining the Descendants franchise, I didn't speculate that she was going to have such a short time with the Descendants franchise, but it was so fun seeing her bring the character Bridget to life, and really put into perspective just how much of a profound impact someone's feelings can have on somebody, and the emotional experience that somebody goes through when they're suffering from bullying in high school and peer pressure. It was just amazing how Ruby just brought that character to life and really put into perspective how much of a profound impact all of this can have on a person in their everyday life. You don't really, think about how much of a profound impact bullying can have on somebody until it either happens to you or somebody that you're really close with. And I think Ruby did a great job of that. She raised awareness to that. She explained why the Queen of Hearts turned out the way she did and did such a fabulous job. And I've just been heartbroken after the announcement was made that Ruby's parting ways with the franchise on social media. Ruby has this way of, lifting our spirits and then just disappearing, and then she comes back better than ever. But I'm really going to miss her. I really am, because Ruby just, like I said, has this way of just showing up and then disappearing because her purpose has been fulfilled, and when she feels like her purpose has been fulfilled and she's reached her maximum potential, she just disappears. I think that Disney really doesn't understand how valuable people are, such as Ruby Rose Turner and Kyle Contrell, because they expect you to know everything at such a young age. And that's the thing about Disney. Disney expects you to be an adult at 8 years old and understand everything. That's what they expected with Miley Cyrus years ago, was they expected her to know everything at like 9 years old. And then she was casted as this powerful character, Hannah Montana, that was expected to know everything. But how can you know everything at just 9? I mean, it's impossible to know that. That's why a lot of people choose Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon gives you a bit more creative freedom and control. I think that if Disney went the same direction with their franchises, I think more people would have more of an enjoyable experience, which is why I wanted to get on Disney's creative team for forever. Because if I get in on Disney's creative team, what's going to happen is everything is just going to explode for the better, and everybody's just going to be treated with respect the way they've been deserved to be treated with respect for what feels like forever. I think that when you have a group of so many talented people, no matter if you're talking with the cast and Descendants or even Zombies, I mean, you just had these two beautiful talents debut for Zombies, Freya Sky and Malachi Burton, who I saw videos of yesterday having so much fun working with each other and getting to know each other for the people they are behind and off of camera. And I had so much respect for them because the chemistry between Malachi Burton and Freya Sky was really off the charts. And that's an extreme rarity when you're talking about franchises such as High School Musical, Hannah Montana from years prior, and now Descendants and Zombies, because I don't ever think that you have everybody that really matches up and has perfect chemistry. But when you do, when you see that, and it's an extreme rarity, you really have to take full advantage of it. And you really have to make it an enjoyable experience for everybody. And I think that the cast in New Zealand had the time of their life shooting Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires because of the chemistry that existed between stars such as Freya Sky and Malachi Burton, who are going to do a fabulous job carrying on the legacies of stars such as Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly, who portrayed the character Zed Addison, who really set the Zombies franchise on fire and ablaze. I am really excited to see how the relationship unfolds by Zombies 5. I'm excited to find out what's inside of that vortex. Every morning on this show, I'm discussing the possibilities of what could be inside of that vortex, from mermaids to pirates to sirens to even witches have been discussed. I've even thrown into the conversation gargoyles and unicorns, trolls and goblins, because there are so many supernatural creatures opposed to mermaids that could be a threat to mermaids or something settling in Seabrook, even if it is mermaids. So because all the supernatural forces are expected to come together, it has to be the most strongest force ever inside of that vortex for all the supernatural forces to have to come together. And I'm really excited to see how zombies and aliens and werewolves are going to coexist against the greatest threat ever posed to Seabrook by the time we get to Zombies 5. I've always believed that humans and zombies could coexist in a world, although we've never experienced it before. I really do believe that everybody we go to school with sometimes are zombies when you least expect it. Because how many times have you seen a guy when you're standing by your locker and you're probably texting him probably 5 or 6 text messages, and he's not even reading your text messages or even acknowledging what's inside of the text message, and when he writes you back and finally responds, he didn't even notice anything you relate to him in the text message. So for sure he's got to be a zombie. For how many times a boyfriend doesn't pay attention to his girlfriend, obviously they are zombieing out. So I think that Disney is just trying to really put into perspective for us how life really is really challenging sometimes for a lot of people. I really respect how Zombies is really put into our minds that, dreams can happen for somebody, even if it is seeing somebody in your dreams for what feels like forever, and then eventually meeting them and encountering them in such an unbelievable way. I think that Freya Sky and Malachi Burton were just meant to work together, meant to be, and I think that the more respect that we show them, the more confidence we're going to give them, because I think the confidence is really lacking in this department, because I think that if people would stop criticizing people like Freya Sky and Malachi Burton and stop saying, well, they're no Zed and Addison, which obviously they aren't. They are two different characters, and they are two far more beautiful characters, I think, than Zed and Addison ever were. Zed and Addison were beautiful characters in their own right, and they were fierce and they were strong. But I think Malachi Burton and Freya Sky are really going to carry on the legacy of this franchise the way that Mila Manheim and Meg Donnelly perhaps envisioned a long time ago. Because you remember how much Zombies meant to Meg Donnelly. Meg Donnelly really believes that this franchise is what gave her the opportunity to be a superstar overnight. And this was something she wanted more to do than anything else in her entire life. This was an experience that she will forever cherish. So because Zombies means so much to her, I think that having confidence in Freya Sky and Malachi Burton is very important for the fans of the franchise and for them themselves. So for Meg Donnelly and Mila Manheim then to be sitting behind the camera offering creative direction makes for a fun time for every fan of the Zombies franchise. You guys have every reason to be excited about this by 2028. The release window for Zombies 5 is a little bit far out there. I will agree with each and every one of you, but even if it means I have to create one Zombies video every day on this YouTube channel, I see no issues with that. I have no problems with that because I know how much Zombies means to everybody, and I don't think it deserves criticism. If anything, it deserves praise because I remember the very first Zombies movie and thinking this was so cool. Disney had never attempted to do a horror sci-fi musical before, and it was just after Disney had introduced us to the multiverse stuff with Marvel, and everybody was checking out of Marvel. I was going to Marvel movies. I was the only guy in the movie theater, I kid you not, and I thought the multiverse stuff was so cool. It was the shit, as the kids say. And, everybody was checking out of it, and then Disney comes out with these sci-fi musicals such as Zombies, and I thought it was so cool because it was just off of the werewolf vampire trend from about 20 years ago when Twilight was at the height of its popularity. I was thinking to myself, this would have been a perfect time for Disney to put this out when Twilight was at the heights of its popularity and Zombies and Twilight could have went head to head. Now, obviously, Twilight would have been forever inferior and would have jumped ahead of Zombies ever before Zombies would have ever had a chance. But it would have been really cool to see Summit and Disney competing for supremacy with Twilight and Zombies going head to head. I would have loved to have seen that. And I remember how crazy the Twilight trend was. That was back in November of 2008, and everybody was just so crazy about it. It would have been so fun to see something done like that. I've always said that the two franchises, Descendants and Zombies, should have came together. And I say this because, it's one thing to have different chapters for the franchises, but can you imagine if Descendants and Zombies had one movie, and how many storylines could be created between the characters from Zombies and the characters from Descendants? I mean, think about that. You would have probably up to 10 movies of this franchise. This franchise would last for forever because that's what everybody who's a fan of Descendants and Zombies wants to have happen. They want this to be the biggest franchise of all time. They want it to last forever. They want it to surpass the expectations of everybody. And what better way to do that than by bringing the two franchises together? And I'm not talking about just a stage production. I'm talking about a movie produced probably every 2 to 3 years. That would be incredible. And I think ultimately that's what a lot of people want to get out of this experience. But again, Disney has this thing where they come up with so many creative concepts and so many creative ideas. What would ever happen if a girl fell in love with a zombie? And they throw all their ideas on the table, and then there comes a time when Disney has no creative energy whatsoever and no creative juice. So that's why there's not really that great of a story eventually in a franchise such as Zombies. So that's why I really appreciate the 4 to 5 year release window for Zombies, because it gives it time. It gives us time to develop new music, a new script, and by the time the movie comes out, it's ultimately better, as opposed to releasing a movie once every 2 to 3 years, which is what Descendants was doing from 2015 to 2017. Now, while I say that music could have got better if Descendants would have had probably a 4-year release window in between each movie, and the franchise would have been extended, the thing is, the music did get better by Descendants 2. I mean, the music in Descendants 2 was absolutely fabulous. You had songs like Ways to be Wicked. You had Chillin' Like a Villain, which was the most popular song for kids of 2017. So, you had shows like Victorious that were on the top of Nickelodeon's most watched list, and the favorite show of kids in 2012. So you're just coming out of an era that was represented by shows from Nickelodeon like iCarly and Victorious. Nickelodeon was really in its prime and was really the go-to for kids every afternoon. So Disney was just, trying to counteract that kind of thing, and they came up with something perfect that was so fitting. Descendants, of course, VK kids, carrying on the legacies of their parents. The Evil Queen, Maleficent, Jafar, Cruella de Vil. Beautiful franchise that inspired so many people to become stronger, to stand up for what they believed in, stand up for their friends, be friends for forever, and some of the most beautiful friendships of all time have been derived because of their passion for Descendants. I mean, you get off the school bus every day. I mean, school is starting in a couple of days on September 3rd, and the first day of school is going to end up with you falling in love with somebody because they also are a fan of Descendants. You'll get off the school bus, you'll ask your friend that you've never met before in your life if they love Descendants, and the two of you will be friends for forever. Trust me, I see it happen all the time. And because I see it happen all the time, that's why this show means so much to me, because I just want to touch your heart with my opinions on Descendants and Zombies. I don't want to offer you criticism like everybody else about Descendants and Zombies. If anything, I want to show up on this channel, then I want to talk about Descendants and Zombies the way it was meant to be talked about, because you deserve that. You don't deserve to hear people like Freya Sky and Malachi Burton criticize, which a lot of people choose to do, because there's a lot of jealousy that exists for these reviewers on YouTube about Descendants and Zombies, because they don't want to see it get to the heights of unprecedentedness like it has. It's at the heights of unprecedentedness because it deserves to be in the position that it's in. And as long as it deserves to be in the position that it's in, nobody is going to take that away from them, or nobody has the right to bring us down because we're fans of Descendants and Zombies. I'm here to tell you that there is nothing wrong with being a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I mean, years ago, I was a fan of Twilight. I was a fan of the Vampire Diaries. I was a fan of every TV show having something to do with vampires. And that was really weird for a guy 25 years old to sit down and watch vampire TV shows. But the thing was, it was a trend, and I just wanted to be a part of it. I just wanted to experience its rise in popularity, and I was so honored to be a fan of stuff like Twilight and the Vampire Diaries. And I, too, am so much honored to be a fan of Descendants and Zombies, and I'm probably the only guy on YouTube that says anything nice about Descendants and Zombies, because it's all constructive criticism. I mean, this morning you're YouTubing Descendants and Zombies. That's why you're here. That's why I'm thankful you clicked on my thumbnail, because this video is full of praise of your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars, because that's what they deserve. I mean, anybody who uplifts their entire existence to devote their life to entertaining each and every one of you, like Freya and Malachi have, deserve all this praise in the world, because there are so many people that wouldn't do that. I mean, Dove Cameron almost cracked under pressure years ago, but she did pull through. Not because she wanted to pull through, but because of each and every one of you and the support of her family. I mean, there were many times Dove Cameron contemplated quitting her career and throwing it all behind. But because of all of you and being such huge fans of Dove Cameron, that's why Dove Cameron's in the position she is right now, one of the biggest names in the world. With music and entertainment and acting, it's unbelievable how much Dove Cameron has given her life to each and every one of us. So does Dove Cameron deserve to be criticized? I don't think so. If anything, Dove Cameron deserves to be put over, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to give these stars the praise they deserve, and I'm here to talk about them in a way they deserve to be talked about for a very long time, and drink my Mickey Mouse cup of herbal tea every morning like I do. Oh God, there's just something about having a cup of tea every morning, putting your thoughts together about Descendants and Zombies that really hits the spot. And the thing is, ever since the Alice in Wonderland characters premiered in Descendants, I've developed an addiction to tea. I've been watching Alice in Wonderland ever since I was probably 10 years old, and I've loved Alice in Wonderland for what feels like forever. I'm almost 40 years old. I'll be 40 next year in May. And I've had these Disney characters that forever and always held a special place in my heart. That's what you got to know about me. That's why you see the Disney stuffies there in the background, the reciprocal lights, because I really do enjoy bringing the show to life in a way that I don't think anybody else is ever going to bring it to life for you. So if you're looking for a guy to talk about Descendants and Zombies, if you're looking for somebody to really put into perspective how much Descendants and Zombies means to them, then look no further than this YouTube channel, and I think you should subscribe here. I know I drink a cup of herbal tea every morning, and I talk about Descendants and Zombies because, well, I love talking about Descendants and Zombies, and I think there's no more effective way to talk about Descendants and Zombies than by putting $5,000 behind a YouTube channel and talking about Descendants and Zombies flat out. Because if we've got a year to go between now and the premiere of Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland, there is no better way to put this all into perspective than by hosting a show every morning about Descendants and Zombies at only 9:11 a.m. in the morning. I can't even believe I just said that, but every morning between 8:35 a.m. and 9:05 a.m. I'm recording a podcast about Descendants and Zombies, because I think these franchises still have a long way to go. You know, it's one way of looking at it from the perspective of being a trilogy, and that's it. You know, see you later, don't let the door hit you on the way out. But I really do respect these stars. And I do respect everything about the franchise, from the script to the music, how beautiful it is, how beautiful it sounds. I think everything about Descendants, from its script to its sound, to its melody, to its message, was just so powerful and just so beautiful. And I too, like many of you, drew inspiration from Descendants. You can tell because I created the show about Descendants and Zombies. And before that, ever before that, I was a host on. I know how powerful this can be because before all of this, I was a host on YouTube talking about various niches that didn't make a whole lot of sense to anybody. And I like to believe that now more than ever, I've created a show that inspires so many people, whether that be to create their own YouTube or to talk about Descendants and Zombies in their own light, from their own perspective. I like to believe that I did that, and I did that in a very effective way. And it makes me proud to know that I reached so many incredible people, because more people than ever are subscribing to this YouTube channel, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed, I would just love for you to be a part of this incredible journey that you girls have got me on, because if not for you, I don't even know if I'd be here this morning. Come to think of it, I don't know where I'd be in the world if I wasn't here. I'd probably be out in the world doing something that I didn't want to be, somewhere I didn't want to be, talking to somebody I didn't even like, because that's happened to me a lot in my lifetime. But I can honestly say that this is the most fun that I've had in my entire life. From my heart to yours, I just simply want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for all the love and support you've shown this YouTube channel, and I hope you continue to show for the foreseeable future, because I'm not going anywhere. I want to be here with you for the rest of my life, and because I have no issues with talking about Descendants and Zombies for the rest of my life. I really don't. I love this so much. These two franchises have really changed my life and given me a whole new perspective on life for the better. And that's what I needed. I needed a kick in the ass. And Descendants and Zombies really gave me that kick in the ass I was looking for and I was hoping for, because I got to meet all of you. The greatest honor of my life has not been to talk about Descendants and Zombies. It's been to meet all of you. And I honestly mean that. I don't know where I'd be without your love and support. So thank you guys so much for being, because some of the very first subscribers that I've ever put up here on this YouTube channel are still here, and I can't even believe that. It's really hard for me to put into words how I feel about everybody still being here and being so incredibly supportive of this YouTube channel, because when you could have quit on me, you didn't. And I've had so many people quit on me over the years, but the Descendants and Zombies fans are so dedicated and so passionate about what they believe in that I love them so much. And that's the truest words that you'll hear from any other YouTube creator out there, is that these Descendants and Zombies fans are just so incredibly supportive. You guys never know when to quit, and you never know when to stop loving somebody. You've shown me love from the very first video that was uploaded here on this YouTube channel. I never thought this YouTube channel would see 500 subscribers, much less 3,000, and over 50,000 views later on today. That's amazing. I wasn't expecting to hit 50,000 views until later on this coming weekend, because tomorrow's Friday. So I was hoping to hit 50,000 views by tomorrow, and I just might do that, but it seems like it's going to turn over today. It's going to cross over today, and it's because of each and every one of you. I love you so much, man. Thank you so much for all the love and support you've shown this YouTube channel. I don't know where I'd be without you guys. I honestly don't. Descendants and Zombies may still have a long way to go, but that doesn't mean that we can't get there. And if we're going to get there, I want to get there together. I want to talk about Descendants and Zombies the way it was meant to be talked about. I want to show it the respect it deserves, and has felt like it's deserved for forever, because a lot of people try to take away the credibility for Descendants and Zombies, and I've never wanted to do that. If anything, I've wanted to give it the respect it deserves, and it's beyond long enough now that I think this deserves the respect it deserves, and for far long enough. Because a lot of people are just criticizing it because they know they can upset you. But if you're strong enough, you can stand up for what you believe in and say that Descendants and Zombies doesn't deserve to be treated this way. And if anybody is a diehard fan of Descendants and Zombies like they profess to be, they would realize that Descendants and Zombies doesn't deserve to be talked about in this manner, doesn't deserve to be talked about this way or treated this way with respect. I think that these Descendants and Zombie stars are absolutely fabulous, and they have the brightest futures of anyone that I've ever had the honor of talking about over the last 40 years. And I've talked about a lot, over at least the last 25 years for sure, about Hannah Montana, High School Musical, Hannah Montana, High School Musical. I've been a part of every aspect of Disney over the last 25 years, and I've had the honor of talking about it in a way that I don't think any other YouTuber has had the honor and the privilege of talking about your favorite stars, whether they be Miley Cyrus, Hilary Duff, whom I was a huge fan of. I can't stop watching videos of people I was a fan of years ago, and I'm still so supportive of them, just as I'm supportive of Descendants and Zombies. And I want to make a promise and a vow to each and every one of you. If there is anything done that happens on this YouTube channel, it will be one video every day at least about Descendants of Zombies for you. I will be back later on this afternoon with another great video about Descendants of Zombies with my opinion to share for each and every one of you, which I hope you will join me for. I am really excited about the futures, the foreseeable futures for both Descendants and Zombies, because we still have a long way to go with these two respective franchises. I would love to see these two franchises explode to the heights of unprecedentedness and exceed the expectations of every critic that they have encountered, because they have encountered their fair share of criticism. And if anything, I've just wanted to take that away from them, because they've deserved far better in the way of reviews, and I've just wanted to be that guy to give that to you, because you guys have been YouTubing Descendants of Zombies for the better part of the last decade. It's been a decade that I know that I will never ever forget, and I will forever cherish, and I'm just so honored to be a part of it, because you guys have allowed me to be a part of your lives and been the voice of Descendants of Zombies to help you make sense of everything having to do or relate to Descendants of Zombies. Thank you guys so much for allowing me the honor and giving me the chance and the honor to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much, man. Be kind to one another, because kindness really does go a long way in this world. Until we talk again a few hours from now, bye, YouTube. With that having been said, be kind to one another, because kindness really does go a long way in this world, and it shows when you spread your own message of kindness, because life is sweeter when all of us are.